everybody. We are in Padova today and we're very happy to be here because it's the first time that we visit the city.
To put in context, Padova is roughly 40 kilometers away from Venice and a 3-hour ride by car from Milan. Padova was a Roman city and it was the second richest city after Rome.
Actually, the legend says that Padova was founded by a Trojan prince in 1132 before Christ, running away from the destruction of Troy, but this is just a legend. But Padua had one of the oldest university in the world, and it grew between two rivers, and this kind of designed the layout of the city that is based on the water, and also the economy of the city was based on the water. And this waterway was connecting with Venice. You could reach by boat Venice from Padua.
The city was one of the cultural capitals of the 14th century due to the influence of the Carrarese lordship. Another interesting fact about Padova is that the World Heritage Fund of the UNESCO has named two locations of importance in the city, one being the Botanical Garden,
which is the oldest in the world.
And the second one is the Scrovegni Chapel, which we will be visiting today.
Inside we will find the most important fresco cycle that was painted by Giotto between 1303 and 1305, and it covers completely the internal walls of the chapel. Commissioned to Giotto by a rich and powerful banker of the time, Enrico Scrovegni, the chapel was co-dedicated to Reginaldo Scrovegni, Enrico's father, a rich moneylender placed in the Divine Comedy by Dante Alighieri in hell, precisely because of his activity, which was considered reprehensible in the 14th century. Giotto at the time already had a very well-established artistic workshop, and in fact he was in Padova at the invitation of the minor friars to embellish La Basilica di Sant'Antonio, but was already famous for having fresco La Basilica di San Francesco in Assisi and the one of San Giovanni in Laterano in Rome, as well as the famous Palazzo della Ragione di Padova, another masterpiece of the 14th century.
The cycle of frescoes tells the story of salvation in two different paths. The first with the stories of the life of the Virgin and of Christ painted along the aisles and on the triumphal arch. The second begins with the Vices and Virtues faced in the lower portion of the major walls and ends with the majestic Last Judgment on the counter facade. As we said, Giotto in this environment creates a perspective effect totally unknown at the time and which anticipates the Renaissance techniques of representation by at least 100 years. The other revolution expressed by Giotto in these paintings, and which anticipates the themes of the Renaissance, is the attention to the human figure and the emotions such as desperation imprinted on the faces of crying mothers in the Massacre of Innocents.
Among the others, perhaps the most touching subject is the kiss between Anna and Joachim, Holy Mary's old parents. In the scene, the two of them meet under the Golden Gate in Jerusalem and they kiss each other on the mouth, a very tender and natural pose, very daring for 1305.
We would like you to notice the beauty of this ultramarine blue, a very expensive color at the time whose pigments arrived in Venice from all over the Mediterranean basin. The entire chapel's vault is all covered with this powerful color, and it looks like a spectacular starry sky full of 8-pointed stars.
And listen to this, the number 8 refers to the 8th day of creation and therefore to eternity. Years ago we went to visit La Chiesa di San Francesco in Assisi, and we thought we saw Giotto's masterpiece. Actually, visiting this chapel, we realized that the masterpiece is here because something has changed in his way of painting. Is more mature, and how can I say? It's the way he represents the religious stories is much more human. And we shouldn't forget that we are talking about the beginning of the 14th century, so we're still in the Middle Age. So the way he paints and the way he represents things in this place is totally avant-garde for the time.
And looking at the paintings inside, one that really stands out as an example of this is the scene where Jesus is washing the feet of the apostles, and then on the side you see another apostle that is kind of embarrassed, and he's picking between the between his finger toes, trying to clean up a little bit. So this brings in kind of the human aspect of storytelling, which was not present in the way he was representing religious figures back prior to this period.
So Padua offers much more than this. There are a lot
But we
of
wanted
other,
to concentrate on this one today.
we wanted really to focus on this masterpiece that has to be seen.
Yes. Apart from that, remind you that you need to check us out at Chiesi, our YouTube channel, sign up on the mailing list, and check us out on our website, chiesi.com. And from Padova, bye-bye.
Ciao!